Hello my friends, I want to welcome you all to my storytelling. This was supposed to be airing on YouTube, but I don't know much about technology sometimes, so I didn't know how to do it. So for next time I'll find out. And today I will just tell this story here on Facebook Live, and then I will post it on the YouTube channel, and perhaps one day you will find this story, and it will be a very good gift for that day. So I want to introduce myself. I am a storyteller from Poland, and for many years now I've been traveling here with stories, carrying this tradition of wandering storytelling. But this has begun actually across the ocean when I lived in North America, and the beginning of my storytelling was in English language, and I didn't know that one day I will be sharing stories in my own language, in Polish. And since I've returned to Poland, it has been like this. But for past weeks, months, I hear more and more to take these stories that have come over the past years and to weave them back into the English language, and so to share with my friends that I have all across the world. So So here today I would like to share this beautiful story about a flower from the Amazon. And I want to tell you also, before I start the story, that storytelling is one of traditions, ways of human beings passing down things that are ancient and eternal, and passing from generation to generation things about life. And in stories they are safe, they are protected, and they cannot be touched by anyone with harmful or bad motives. So I understand stories like this. They are like gateways to many layers of seeing and experiencing. And they are like internet for me. They are like messengers for me. So this story that I would like to share, it has begun with a beautiful song that I've been hearing in many circles. Song about Bobinsana, Sirenita Bobinsana. And the song was so beautiful, and as I understand Spanish language, I started to wonder, what is this song about? Who is this mermaid? Because I didn't know anything about the word Bobinsana. So I looked up the Bobinsana, Sirenita Bobinsana. What is this song about? And I found out that Bobinsana is a flower that grows along banks of rivers and by waters in the Amazon. And in visions of people, it appears as a mermaid, or sometimes as a very old woman, grandmother. And when I saw the actual flower of Bobinsana, it touched my heart so much, because this flower is of pure beauty. This flower has petals like rays of sun, but in the colors of red and white and pink. And when I saw this flower, it seemed to me like it's touching my heart with its petals. And so I asked Bobinsana, because in the Amazon this flower and the plant itself is called like teacher plant. And so I asked Bobinsana, please give me a story, a beautiful story, so I can sing about your beauty, because this beauty is actually it's unspoken. But give me words enough so I can come close to express how beautiful you are. And so through the song and through looking at the flower and feeling the flower, this story came. And it's a great honor for me to share this story with you in this language. And the words of this beautiful song, they say, "Hey, little mermaid of the waters and rivers, dance with the wind. Please perfume our hearts with your beautiful fragrance. Look, we are singing songs for you. We are dancing close. Clean our bodies and cleanse our spirits. Perfume our hearts with your beautiful fragrance. The beautiful selva, powerful selva, the rainforest, it spreads endlessly with all shades of green. Beautiful river like a silver serpent is meandering through this forest. Selva pulsates with life and sound. And one day, they brought a woman to a village in the very heart of the forest. This woman, she was very sad. Her sadness was so deep that she didn't even remember how it began and why. And nothing that she could do, no medicine from the place that she lived, could help her and could bring her to the spring joy, the source of joy inside of her. So they brought her to this village, and they brought her to the hut of the eldest man. This grandfather, he knew all of the plant medicines. He was very wise. And so he could heal every sickness and bring back health. And he looked at this woman for a long time. And then he said, "I cannot help you." He looked into her eyes, and through her eyes he saw her heart. And in her heart he saw the sadness. "I cannot help you. But in the forest there lives a grandmother, very old one. If you trust me, I'll show you a way. If you trust me, you will follow this path and she will come and meet you. She has medicine for you." And this woman agreed. She had nothing to lose. And so he told her that this grandmother will for sure come and meet her, and it is also sure that she will send her helpers along the way. And he asked her to trust everything that happens on the way, and she agreed. And so she started her journey. And as she started to walk through the deep, deep, deep forest, she actually felt a little bit happiness inside of her heart and a little bit of hope, because she was supposed to meet a grandmother that will give her medicine. And as she was walking, the sun was finding little places in between leaves and shining on her. And this woman, she stood and she actually looked up. And it was very incredible, she thought. She thought to herself, if this was a story, she could swear that the sun rays are reaching towards her and touching her face and her hair. And that they are alive, that they truly see her. But this was not a story. And she was supposed to meet a grandmother, so she kept on walking. She walked and walked and walked, and all of a sudden, a little tiny bird appeared in front of her, right at the level of her eyes. And this little tiny bird with its wings was making eternal signs, standing in the air. It was a little colibri, hummingbird. And this woman, she stood and she thought, if this was a story, she could swear that this little bird has come to welcome her and to show her the way. But this was not a story, and she didn't come here to meet a bird, but a grandmother. So she kept walking, and the little bird flew away. And then, as she walked, she saw huge stones. And she could swear that they are calling her. They are calling her and asking that she will place her hands on these stones. She even saw images of this. But then quickly she remembered, this is not a story. This is real life, and these are only stones. She's inventing something. And she kept on walking. The sun was lower and lower, and this woman has not met a grandmother. And she was becoming tired. And as soon as she felt tired, she heard sound of water. She thought it would be so beautiful, so wonderful to feel water. So she found the water. It was a little river. And so she sat on the bank and she put her feet in the water, and the water was so beautifully fresh and cool. And she kept on sitting in this water. And then the wind blew. And as the wind blew, she felt the most beautiful fragrance. She lifted up her eyes. She realized that all of the bank is covered with little shrubs with the most beautiful flowers. Only now she noticed them. This was their fragrance. These flowers, they had petals like rays of sun, pink and white. and they were swaying gently with the wind. They were alive. And then she heard a melody, a woman's voice singing. This was a story, she could swear this was the flowers singing. But it's not possible, flowers cannot sing. But this beautiful melody, it kept coming and going like echo. She didn't know if it was the wind or maybe the river singing, or maybe she just heard the sound of the water and she thought it's the voice of a woman. For sure, she was just imagining this. And then she remembered that she was supposed to meet grandmother. And she saw that the sun was very, very low. And so she stood up. She picked one of the flowers and she walked back to the village to make it back before the sunset. And when she came to the village, she stood right in front of the grandfather, and she said, "I didn't meet anybody. No grandmother came for a meeting. No grandmother gave me medicine." And this old man, he looked at the flower she was holding in her hand. "Are you sure you haven't met a grandmother? I think you've met her." And the woman didn't know, what is he talking about? And then he started to sing for her. Sirenita de los ríos, danza, danza con el viento. Con tus flores y aroma, perfuma los corazones. This was the same melody that she heard at the river. How did he know the song? And he said, "Close your eyes and look. Close your eyes and see." And the song started to take her. All of a sudden, she found herself back at the riverside. And the bank was covered with the beautiful flowers, and she heard singing the same song a woman was singing. And then this woman appeared from the water. It was a mermaid. Her black hair was covered with little drops of water, shining. this woman, she held out her hand, and in her hand there was a flower. With her gesture, she was saying, "Take it." And the woman, very moved, reached out and took the flower. And she touched the flower to her heart. And she felt the most beautiful fragrance. This fragrance of the flower was filling everything. Then the flower started to grow its petals longer and longer and longer. And then she felt that her heart and this flower are one. The most beautiful joy tears started to flow on her face. Because this heart flower, with its petals reaching out and out and out, whatever it touched, she felt it as her own body. The petals of her heart were connecting her with all of life forms as one life. This was all her body. And the spring of joy started to flow inside of her. This was her water. The mermaid was living in this water. And the petals kept on growing. And they took her to the stones. And she placed her hand on the stones. These ancient ones, they were alive. They held stories. These stories were also her stories. They were alive. And so she spread her arms and she put herself very close to the stones, body to body, one body. She was not inventing any of this. It didn't just seem to her. All of this was truly the most beautiful story. All of this was truly the most beautiful story. Alive. True, alive story. Syreneczko wody rzeki, zatań, zatań, zatań z wiatrem i zapachem swoich kwiatów. Dotknij, dotknij serca nasze. Dziś śpiewamy Tobie pieśni, babciu medycyny ziemi. I tańczymy bardzo razem, syreneczko Bobinsano. Naj, offer this story with my gratefulness to all of the plants that share this beautiful planet with us. And I thank this Bobinsana flower that is coming now to my land and is touching hearts of many people, reminding of softness, gentleness, many layers that weave our bodies. And also is reconnecting us with the flowers that grow on our native lands, reminding us about who plants are, who flowers are, our brothers and sisters. I'm grateful that in these times people gather again and listen to stories. And it's a great honor for me to carry the storytelling way and to share these stories with the people. And may this story about Bobinsana Flower bring sweetness to your heart today. I wish you all a very good night, and I hope to share these stories in English every week on the YouTube channel when I actually figure out how to do it. But this video will appear there soon.